Well, here we are again, y'all.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, it's good to see y'all. We just got finished, not too long ago, a couple days ago, finished getting the volume 5 of
this, which is the Transformers IDW Phase 1, Volume 5. We're now at Volume 5 now.
Yes, we're at volume 5 now. Where the other books had spotlights and stuff like that, once we got reading off into this, we found out that this book extremely starts picking up the pace of the story.
In other words, the other books that we've read and reviewed here did start it off a little slow with some spotlights and some mini-series. But this book here is where everything starts to pick up steam.
He's right, and it starts moving. This book right here has more, where before the other couple of volumes you could just, it didn't have a human feel to it, if this makes sense. You'd have to read this book to understand. This puts more of a human aspect into the story, which I highly am grateful for, because this, you go through the human emotions of what it would be like if giant robots actually attacked Earth. You call it Transformers? Excuse me. If they attacked Earth, what our military would actually probably go through and start thinking about doing. There's more one-on-one human relationships in the disaster of what it would be like if Transformers would invade Earth. In the last couple of books, they were just kind of hidden. Here, they let it all go.
Yes.
So you can start seeing where the human aspect starts coming in. And some of this surprised me how it went down. So I'm glad to see that it definitely started picking up the pace, because before then it was just spotlights here and there, and it was kind of all over the place. But when you read this, it starts bringing it in, tying it in to where it makes more sense. And like I said, you would see the human aspect of it. So with that said, Colton, is there anything you want to add to that before we start reviewing into the book?
Yes.
Okay.
And also, the Transformers characters are also acting like a human aspects, like my dad is saying.
Yeah.
And not just robots fighting each other.
Yeah, they kind of have a cruel sense of humor too.
Like an adult humor
It's where you could only do so much with the cartoon, they pick it up in the book. Because
and another thing I will have to say, this volume, which is part of Phase 1, is by far my favorite volume here, because this is where everything starts to pick up steam and explaining more to the story.
Yeah.
And for the cover, you can see there's a picture of Starscream here. And it's just like the other ones which we have reviewed. Like you have Transformers collection, the IDW collection, and also IDW here. And on the back you do have the rest of the picture of Starscream, which is just his arm with his null ray here.
Let's put it this way, Starscream's on the cover for a reason. And you'll see what that is.
And here it tells you what's in it. And like you heard my dad here, this version of Starscream, where his leader Megatron tells him something that you G1 fans who grew up watching the cartoon, this Starscream here is where Megatron explains to him something that we've never heard of in the cartoon. And we'll get to that inside this book. And of course you do get a little ribbon here, or a bookmark here.
So this way you can keep your place. I always lose my place everywhere I go. But anyway, go ahead.
So let's take a look at the inside of the book itself.
Let me see if I can help you do this here. Okay. When it started out, I kind of got a kick out of it the way it started.
And in this book here, if I zoom in here, you can see inside the book we have of course the contents, and it has All Hail Megatron Volume 1 and Volume 2, and the rest of these here are the codas, which is part of All Hail Megatron here.
Then you see our faces.
And like always, we're not going to show y'all every single page, because
we're just going to flip through some parts. I've got to get to where the Constructicons were at, because this is some of the cruel humor that they put in here. And I don't know, Colton may have to turn a certain place so this way we can get it all in frame.
the part of
the Constructicons going into New York City.
And destroying.
Yeah. Just read a couple of that. Is that, are we there?
No.
Okay.
We got the Decepticons here attacking.
Attacking what?
The city, which is New York City.
Yeah. Wait, before that, go, let's see. Is it back here where the Constructicons were at? That's what I was saying. Yes, that's what I was saying. I think it's like the first page.
Yes, here.
Okay, I'm going to let Colton read some of this.
So here, you can see, for the first chapter of All Hail Megatron, we get the Constructicons here, and they start transforming into their robot modes.
They move into the city. The Constructicons move into the city, and by that time it's taking everybody in New York City, like, and that one block, they're like, what is going on? Why is there big massive utility vehicles coming down the road. And go ahead.
And right here, the leader of the Constructicons named Scrapper is saying, "Hey everyone, we're just here to be friends." And
it says more or less, "Hey, we come in peace." And this is Scrapper.
But in the next page here, well, but before we get to that, right here on the bottom, one of the Constructicons, which is named Hook, nudges Scrapper with his shoulder, and they started laughing.
After they rolled into New York City and they transformed. So now the people of New York City is like, "What is that?" And then they say, "Don't worry, we come in peace." And the other Constructicons kind of like knocking the elbow with Scrapper on the other side, like, "Ha ha ha ha, watch this."
Nah, we're just messing around.
Yeah.
And then they start blowing up the city.
Yeah, they said, "No, we're just messing with you. Let's just start destroying stuff." I was like, "Now that is cool."
Yes.
So what they did was they rolled in, pretended to be peaceful, knowing all along that they're Decepticons, and it just starts laying waste to people and buildings and vehicles and other things.
And then they start attacking the city here. But the humans are getting ready for battle to attack the Decepticons.
So basically, the American people and the military gets involved. What in the world is going on? What is this all about? Why is there giant whatevers roaming New York City, laying waste to it? So then the military starts getting involved.
Now you're probably wondering yourselves, where's the Autobots at? Well, they're stuck on Cybertron.
They're not on Earth yet. And
the reason why the Autobots are on Cybertron is because they're badly wounded by the Decepticons who attacked them on Cybertron.
so they're getting word of something else is going on where Megatron's at on this planet that they call Earth. So as the story unfolds, and like I said, there's more human characteristics that come involved into it now. You have the military, you have a couple of females, you have a father and a son in the military. And you can see the human aspect of it, because even as you read on, the father is like, I want my son to be careful. This is very dangerous. We don't know what we're dealing with. And then the shockwave goes around the world. And then all of a sudden, some other military people starts picking it up. And then the UN starts picking it up as the Decepticons are laying waste to New York City.
And here's the first picture that we get to see the Constructicons merging together to form Devastator here.
And Devastator is a powerhouse. He starts wrecking a lot of things.
And this part here, where the people are in that train. In that train station, where the trains go through that tunnel. Well, there is, here, one of the trains come in, And these people are like, we're saved! We're saved!
Yep, we're saved. There's a train coming. Rescue. So somebody got word down there that we're down here. They sent the train.
But it's not the real train. It's actually Astro Train.
So guess what happens to the people? So anyway, that's some of the how can I say, violent
Yes.
comedian laugh. It's I don't want to, how can I put it? It's hard to put it in words. Maniacal humor in it.
Yes. And there are a couple of the Decepticons that did something to the humans. We didn't get to see what they did to them.
But it's also sick and maniacal. It's
like it's becoming like
a joke.
It's a horror film.
It's becoming more like, you know, they want to know why. You'd have to read it. That's all I can say. You'd have to read it.
And we do get to see the reflector robots here. Oh, and then we do see the Autobots here on Cybertron here. And this shot here where Bumblebee and Wheeljack are talking on Cybertron, if you've seen the original G1 cartoon, like the very first episode of the Generation 1 cartoon, this should look familiar to you. And there's some more of these familiar Autobots here. Back on Cybertron. However, one of these Autobots who is part of the Wreckers, and his name is Perceptor, and Perceptor in this is not like the Perceptor you're used to in the cartoon, because Perceptor in the cartoon was a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
But here, he's like scary.
He's still a scientist, but he upgraded himself to become more than a scientist.
Oh, this part here, where we're back on Earth. This here, where Skywarp and Bombshell are talking. The way they're talking, they started to like argue.
Yeah.
And then Skywarp's tension started to get really high. And as you can see here, he pulls out his null ray and shoots Bombshell. And Bombshell is like, you want to play that game? Well, now it's my turn. And then Thundercracker, who is right here, pulls out his null ray and Thundercracker's telling Bombshell to like stop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, here it is, right here. Don't know if y'all can see it, but I'm gonna go ahead and read this part here. So you can see here, Perceptor is shooting at one of the Insecticons. Now, the Insecticons here is the swarm, not the
Insecticons on Earth. These are the Insecticons called the group's called the Swarm,
yes.
And they're on Cybertron.
And Perceptor shoots at one of the Insecticons who's behind this Autobot named Drift. And then we cut to this panel here where we see Trax and Cliffjumper talking, and Trax is saying, "That was scary. Perceptor is scary. When did Perceptor get this scary?"
Perceptor?
That was so cool.
He said, when did Perceptor get this scary? He's never been scary before. Now he's like a hitman. A master marksman. Where did this come from?
And we do also find out the origins of the Insecticons, which is the three Insecticons, Kickback, Shrapnel, and Bombshell, which were created. And also, we do find out, like, a little bit of the origins of the Matrix of Leadership, where Cup is saying the Matrix is older than we are. And we also find out some more informations. And here, it talks about when did the Autobots get injured. And it's, of course, from the Decepticons. And you could see here, Optimus has the Matrix ripped out of his chest from Megatron.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I do want to get to the part where Megatron and Starscream are talking on Earth a little bit, but we're not there yet. Oh, and Ironhide here started beating up Mirage because they think he was a spy.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see here Ironhide is punching his Autobot badge, and he's saying, "You don't deserve to wear this badge anymore." And we do find out about Sunstreaker and his story here. the Autobots are attacking the Insecticon swarm, and the Decepticons on Earth are, well, they've attacked New York City. So now they're doing something else. Like they're planning on something else. Oh, and I think we're at the part here. Well, you can see here the Autobots have finally arrived on Earth. Because Omega Supreme helped them out. And here comes this part here. And I'm going to go ahead and read this part right here. This section right here. And this is something really interesting. It says here, Megatron is telling Starscream, listen to me. Listen to me and understand. One day you will lead the Decepticon primes. You will rule over them as you've always wanted, and will have done so by crushing me beneath your heel. The right to lead is one that cannot be given. It must be taken. This is something I see before you, but not today. Today, the Decepticons are mine. You are mine. Understand. Understand that your time will come. But now, join with me and bring about a new age. Do this and you will rule. So this is something really interesting that you've never heard Megatron tell Starscream about that.
See, Megatron keeps Starscream around to keep so Megatron can stay on his toes. Because he knows how deceitful and cunning and conning Starscream can be. And so he knows that, you know, when him and Prime have it out or he gets badly damaged and stuff like that, Starscream will eventually take over and step in. Megatron already knows this. But this is kind of Megatron's way of telling Starscream, look, you will rule over the Decepticons one day, but not today. You still belong to me.
But when Megatron and Optimus begin to battle on Earth, Optimus finished him off. Because what happened was that, well, we're not there yet. Oh, and this figure here, now I have a toy of this, and it's the Transformers Universe drop shot. And if I zoom in here, you could see he does look really familiar to the Universe drop shot, who is a repaint of the Cybertron Defense scatter shot. Because, and I do have the toy of him, but he's in storage somewhere. Oh, and we do see these two giant robots, which is Omega Supreme and Devastator, battling each other behind what looks like the Statue of Liberty, because Optimus told Omega, take the battle somewhere else.
Yeah, what they were doing is that they were wrecking other buildings in New York City. Optimus Prime told him, he said, look, you're going to beat Devastator's booty. Y'all need to get away from us so this way y'all can handle yourselves at a different place away from us to quit destroying these buildings that we're trying to help the humans and stuff like that. So literally Superion grabbed Devastator.
Like no, Omega bear hugged Devastator and flew off with Devastator.
And where they landed was right there by the Statue of Liberty. So they're duking it out by the Statue of Liberty. So if there's any question of where this was taking place, this was definitely New York.
And you can see here, well, here, you can see Drop Shot here is destroying some of those tanks and also some of the humans.
Excuse me.
But then Cup here makes an appearance, and I think he's like, I'm gonna finish him off.
This is some of the human aspect that we was talking about earlier. Here, the Decepticons learned real quick that they can deceive our military. And how they can do that is emulate our military vehicles. So if the Decepticon is in with the rest of the bunch of the group, and the humans don't know it, and the humans are piloting the tanks along with the rest of the group, and then all of a sudden the humans find out that, hey, this one tank's not responding anymore. We can't get it to roll or anything. And all of a sudden it transforms. And it's a Decepticon. So now he's laying waste to the rest of the tanks there. Now that is different. That is a different spin on it that makes sense if there was some type of scale war like this going on.
And now you can see Megatron and Optimus are battling each other. But then we see these guys here. One of them is named Spike. The other one, who is a female, is named Sarah. And there is
I think his name was John.
His name is in here, but I think his name is John.
Yeah, he's awesome. He is awesome. So this is more of the human aspect that we was talking about in the book. You have a young guy, a young woman, and a young guy, and they're just trying to figure out what is going on. We have giant robots attacking. We don't, and still at this time they do not know which ones are good, which ones are bad. It has not dawned on them that there's a good faction and a bad faction. All the American people know, and the people of the world know, that there are robots attacking New York City. That's all they know.
Right. And Spike here has a weapon which is from Shockwave's handgun. And when I first looked at this, I was like, I think that's one of the Seeker's null ray cannons. But no, it's actually Shockwave's handgun. So they used it to fire on one of the these Decepticons, who is the leader, who's of course Megatron. And what they did here is that they use it to shoot Megatron in the face, which allows Optimus here to take his fusion cannon, and what he does is that he swings it and bashes him in the face, and now he's dead. He's offline.
Megatron?
Yes.
He's offline?
Yes.
He's hurt really bad. He's not offline. Like, he's not offline. He's just really needs a big Advil.
He's not offline. He's just
really hurt.
Really hurt.
He's just really hurt.
So now Starscream here has to take him to somewhere so they could repair him.
See, Starscream finds that there's no honor in this because it's not actually him that betrayed Megatron. Starscream is not going to be happy until it's him actually undermining Megatron. And until he has that day, he wants to keep Megatron alive. So it's kind of a sick, twisted kind of relationship that they have.
Now, this part here, now, the military is dropping off those bombs.
Yeah.
Yes, those bombs. And here, well, the Autobots are like saying, we can't have those bombs attacking the city, so we have to figure out a way.
Okay.
And then...
Alright. Let's put it this way. The UN steps in. And I'm not going to say what they do, but other nations start stepping in because they see the crisis going on. So they take it upon themselves, along with their military, to rid this alien invasion that's happening in New York City only one way, and one way to do it that they know of. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So they deploy what they deploy. And I'm not going to tell you anything else. You'd have to read the rest. We're not going to say that word. He gets it out there. So anyway, you'd have to read the rest to understand what else happens.
Right.
So
that's all.
That's okay. Okay, let's go on with some more.
So that's the end of All Hail Megatron. Now we're into these codas here. And some of these codas here do follow through the All Hail Megatron
Story.
The All Hail Megatron story, and some of them are just
flashbacks.
like here, where Optimus first met Ironhide and the others, because back on Cybertron before the war, Optimus, well, before Optimus, he was named Orion Pax. He wants to assemble an Autobot team, and Ironhide was one of them. And these black and white pictures here are the flashbacks.
So we jump around a lot of different areas and stuff like that. As far as the stuff that they have in these books is like a mixture of G1, G2. You'll even see some G2 in there.
Yes, there are some G2 characters in here, which I forgot to show y'all. But they are in here.
Mm-hmm. So they have different stuff in G1, G2, and stuff like that.
And we do have some appearances of Galvatron, Cyclonus, and also Scourge. And we also do see the sweeps, which are here. Because Galvatron wants to assemble a team.
Yes. Now remember, you have a faction of Megatron and Galvatron.
And here here now you could see Perceptor here is wounded badly, and he's in that little tube because this happened in one of those spotlights issues where Perceptor was badly wounded, so now he needs to repair himself. And here he is, fully repaired.
Yeah. He turned out to be a bad boy. That's some of that human aspect.
Yes. And we're almost done here. And we do see a picture of Bumblebee here.
Right. Because this right here is where Optimus Prime steps in, and they're on Earth now. And he said, "You will leave him alone."
Yes.
He's talking about Bumblebee to the Earth person.
To the human.
Human. Because we still don't know who or what we're fighting. We know that we're fighting something that is not from Earth. So therefore, mixed feelings, emotions, and you see enough of this destruction stuff like that, but something in your mind is telling you that there's something more to the story. Like there's, why aren't the rolling Earth-based vehicles fighting against us? I'm talking about from a human aspect compared to the military grade armament of the other robots, such as the tanks, the jets, and stuff like that. So the people are starting to like they say, wait, this doesn't make sense anymore. It's like, is there such thing as good and bad? All we know is that there's a bunch of robots attacking us. So now, towards the end of this book, now the human aspect is starting to ask, is there actually good and bad in this? We don't know. Well, they start attacking Bumblebee. And Optimus Prime gets it and he says, that's it, you will leave him alone. Because Optimus Prime crashed in and saw what was going on with Bumblebee, and he says, you ain't gonna hurt my little buddy.
One of my men.
Yeah, so, and that's pretty much where it stops. Now,
and like I said, this is my favorite volume of Phase 1.
It takes a bunch of different aspects to what if this situation was to happen. Which, in the book, if it was to happen, we would probably make decisions like this. Because we don't know. All we know is crap's coming to life on us and they're attacking us. So where does our military stand in, especially if you have infiltration of the military vehicles that you don't know? In a group of tanks, you have one rogue tank that's actually Decepticon that disguised itself to fit in with the rest of the tanks. So they go to deploy and move out. And then all of a sudden you get to your destination and all of a sudden that tank just quits responding. Well, the first human aspect is this tank just broke on me. Not thinking that this is one of those machines that's out there destroying and causing havoc and mayhem and death and destruction. And then the realization hits. That's one of the bad guys that's out to destroy the military hardware that's trying to destroy the robots. It's an interesting twist and turn to the story, and I'm glad that they picked up the pace, because in the couple of volumes it was kind of getting monotonous. When we started reading this one, it automatically, within the first 15 minutes, got real interesting.
And this is also where it started to become in like adult humor.
It started picking up the pace in many aspects, in many scenes. I'm not going to tell you what the Decepticons think of us humans, but they kind of have a cruel game. And it's I'm not going to say nothing else about that. It deals with a different bunch of aspects that I was not considering until we start reading it. So I cannot wait to see what the next book and installment is. We'll have to see. We'll have to start reading off into that, and we will. And when we get finished, we will do a complete review on them. So what we're going to do, I'm going to be quiet right quick. Colton, what do you want to say about the book? I'll hold it down.
Overall, like my dad said, really good book, and a really good storytelling to what's going on in here.
So my hat's off to the creators and the storytellers and everybody who was able to make this book come true. You know what I'm saying? The writers, the storygraph, and everything. My hat's off to y'all. Y'all did a good job. Now we are going to do a jump cut?
Yes.
Now we're going to do a jump cut. Go ahead.
Because we do have some figures to show y'all, and I believe some of y'all may be saying, but why can't you just grab the figure and show it to here on camera? Because it may get a little
confusing. So we're just trying a couple different things. We know that these books are kind of long, but the stories in them are long. But
yes.
they're well wrote. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop. We're going to jump cut to what we have over here on the review station to just give y'all a quick run through and run down. And we will see y'all here in a minute.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Now, we are back. Now, if you're wondering what you're staring at, you're looking at some of the stuff that's in the IDW of the book that we just got finished with.
And on this side here, I do have a couple of more figures that should be on here,
but we don't have enough space. So we just put some stuff on there to give y'all some type of reference of what you will find in the book. Of course, you'll find Optimus Prime. You'll find Megatron. There is Perceptor.
And I had to put it there because, like you saw in the comics, Perceptor is totally different.
And there is the wise soldier that has a lot of experience underneath his belt. There is Cup. And then Ravage makes an appearance in the book.
Yes, Ravage.
Okay. And then you have Springer. The no-nonsense Springer. Get down to the whatever's going on real quick. And then you had the Battle Brute.
Which y'all cannot see. There we go.
You had the Battle Brute Roadbuster, who all he knows is destroying Decepticons. The big bull himself. And then getting over here, right quick, you have the smaller faction of the G1s that are in the book. Springer. I'm sorry.
Blur.
Thank you. I forgot his name. Blur. Blur. And you'll see pictures of him and Springer talking and stuff like that. And then you have Prowl. And then, of course, you have Kickback. The Insecticon. Then you have one of the Seekers here.
Well, that's one of the cone heads.
Yes.
Which is Ramjet.
Yes, and these are G2 colors. So this isn't the G1. So when you see him in the book, he's going to be a different color. But this right here is G2. Like Starscream right here. Starscream is G2 color, but there's Starscream representing. Then you have, you have Shrapnel right here. And then you have Astro Train. He's in there. And of course you have Bombshell right there. And you have, remember what we said, that you had a faction of G2 in here too? And they're in there. G2's in there. Which surprised me.
And we've even had some G2 figures in the other books.
That's Deluge.
Yes.
Remember, if y'all go back and y'all see, we did watercolor changing Autobots and Decepticons. This is out of G2. Deluge. And who was he talking to in the book? He was talking to
Megatron
Okay.
and the Seekers.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying, that you have an aspect of G2 along with G1 in the book. And of course you have Soundwave. And then of course you have Blaster. He's in there. So, and there's a lot more other characters in the book. These are just some of the highlights that we just put out there. We don't have enough table space to put them all out there. But when the Wreckers, when Cup leads the Wreckers, it's really going to get interesting.
Yes.
Because he is a no-nonsense military strategist. And he's got plenty of experience. This guy right here, Springer, he's the young warrior. He's like a knight. Just ready to go. And then this is another part of the Wreckers. The big brute.
Who is
Roadblock.
Roadbuster.
I'm sorry, Roadbuster. You are right. I am wrong. That's right. And he is just a Hulk of an Autobot. So, now, with that said, y'all, that is pretty much the review of this book.
The IDW Transformers Phase 1 Volume 5 here.
So, to have the action figures and to be able to put that type of characteristics into the character action figure really makes them unique. It makes them more individual. And I love it to where they have a sense of humor. Now, it's cruel, but it's interesting. And if when you read it, you ask yourself, what would us as humans do if this was facing us? That is a perfect example of what we would do if we was faced with this challenge. So y'all, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to say that's it. Thank you for watching. It's good to see y'all. We appreciate y'all. And take care of each other. And y'all take care. I'm going to step out.
And if y'all like this video, give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you want to check out some other videos you may have missed, there's a playlist set up on my YouTube channel. Or if you want to, y'all could also follow me or support me on Patreon. And I will leave a link to my Patreon account in the description box down below. Or you can click on the little Patreon box right here in this corner. So I think that's about it. So thanks for watching.